Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Our paradise is under threat.
Climate change a twist and turn way.
It not done with we yet.
We need to do something to save our island.
Jamaica. Our paradise is under threat.
Jamaica, a vibrant island nation in the Caribbean, faces a significant challenge: climate change. While a small contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions, Jamaica ranks highly vulnerable to its consequences. This documentary explores the various threats climate change poses to Jamaica's environment, economy, and society.
Industries producing greenhouse gases are energy, industry, transportation, building, agriculture, and land use.
One of the most pressing concerns is rising sea levels. Additionally, saltwater intrusion into freshwater sources further exacerbates water scarcity concerns. According to the United Nations, low-lying islands are especially vulnerable, with some facing the threat of disappearing entirely. The United Nations suggests that at least 600 million people worldwide would be affected, including the almost 3 million people in Jamaica.
But then again, most of the issues regarding climate change is mostly because of the people's environmental practices, which has made our island more vulnerable to climate change, resulting in extreme weather conditions, heat waves, which can have severe repercussions. Climate change also disrupts weather patterns, leading to more frequent and intense droughts and floods. Droughts threaten agricultural productivity, jeopardizing food security and impacting the lives of many Jamaicans. Conversely, intense rainfall events lead to flash floods and landslides, damaging infrastructure and causing loss of lives. At the same time, drought conditions have given rise to frequent forest fires, which puts a strain on Jamaica's limited resources. Additionally, violent earthquakes, will be more common, leading to massive infrastructure destruction.
Jamaica's delicately balanced ecosystems are also under threat. Rising temperatures and changing precipitation patterns are endangering our native species and their natural habitats, while jeopardizing biodiversity. Coral reefs, which are vital for tourism and marine life, are also very vulnerable due to the acidification of our oceans due to the high carbon dioxide absorption.
Climate change, if no fix is done, will result in a disastrous end for all. The economic impact of climate change on Jamaica is significant. Damage from extreme weather events disrupt tourism, a major source of revenue. Additionally, declining agricultural yields and fishery production threaten food security and livelihood. A farmer explained that the rise in temperature had resulted in him losing produce. The cost of adaptation measures, such as building seawalls and improving disaster preparedness, further strains the national budget. Over the last 2 decades, weather-related calamities such as droughts, flooding, tropical storms, and hurricanes have had a significant influence on Jamaica's economy.
Climate change also poses a threat to public health. Rising temperatures create favorable conditions for the spread of vector-borne diseases such as dengue fever and malaria. Water scarcity and disruptions in sanitation systems increase the risk of waterborne illnesses.
Take a look at the beautiful city of Kingston. It is usually covered by this heavy smog. a smog that is caused by greenhouse gas emissions from cars, factories, and Riverton City that is usually set ablaze. This smog gives rise to respiratory illnesses such as asthma. What is quite alarming, many people in the city don't know that they are standing in something that is affecting them.
Adapting to climate change involves taking actions to reduce its risk on humans and the environment. But what can we do in our homes and around our communities to lessen the negative impacts of climate change? On this episode, we will hear the voices of Jamaicans affected by climate change as they tell us their stories. Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. How are you doing today?
Not so bad.
So today we want to ask you a few questions. Are you affected by climate change?
Oh, yes, I do.
And how so?
Because of heavy rain, we have a problem. When we have heavy rains, it wash away our crops, something like that. When we have drought, we have to make preparation like having drums and things to take care of our crops. So it affects me.
And what do you think we can do to reduce the negative impacts of climate change?
Oh, I think the government should put in like solar pumps. That would help a lot for the farmers. I believe so. And I think the government should also train farmers in land management. I think that would be helpful a lot.
Yes. Thank you for your time, Mr. Smith. Enjoy the
Michelle, who grew up in Hanover, Jamaica, pleads with us that urgent action must be taken to address the flooding risks exacerbated by climate change in the parish.
Climate change is a pressing issue, one that demands more awareness and urgent corrective action. In mid-2023, during my time working in Montego Bay, we experienced several days of continuous heavy rainfall. I distinctly recall my journey home to Lucy, where I was soaked from the rain. I've seen the gradual rise of the seas in Hanover, breaching the protective walls constructed to fend them off. It felt so real, like a scene from a movie, yet undeniably real.
Mr. Dennis Morgan is one individual who has had his livelihood affected because of climate change.
We not get as much catch as one time. And you find, the climate change cause the fish population for kind of decrease, but, and then it's like, no, the first time it used to be more calmer than now.
First time being when,
Maybe like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. The weather used to could have predict the weather and say, boy, them time you could have known say you can't catch some fish. But now, due to the climate change, you can't predict the weather anymore.
In conclusion, climate change poses a serious threat to Jamaica's environment, economy, and society.
However, Jamaica is working to adapt and mitigate these impacts through a combination of national and international efforts. Jamaica can build resilience and ensure a sustainable future for its people.
We're all in this together, you and I.
Turn off lights, conserve that flow,
Plant a tree and watch it grow.
We're all in this together, you and I. Climate change, a Jamaica business.